Good afternoon guys, from Kuala Lumpur, a busy roadside bus stop in the middle of the city, just underneath India monorail station, where I've been told I'm going to have to wait and for a coach which is going to take me down all the way down to Singapore. It's with Transtar, and I've been assured this is one of the best coaches in the whole of Southeast Asia. I've booked the front seat in the Solitaire Suites apparently, and it does look very nice, I must admit. So yeah, hopefully everything's going to go to plan. Got about 40 minutes before it leaves, and we're going to check in about 10 minutes time, so we'll see how that goes, and yeah, I'll catch you on the coach. Yeah, the coach departure point was right underneath the monorail station, as were many other coach companies' drop-off and pick-up points, with various kiosks and vehicles stopping and departing whilst I was waiting. Now, actually, for Transtar, there was no check-in facility on the street, and many other operators are clearly fed up with Transtar customers asking, and so it was just a case of waiting by the road and hoping I was in the right place. Slightly late arriving, but here it was, AFW 222, an MAN 24.460, with Transtar First Class Solitaire Suites Express emblazoned on the front and sides. As is the case in KL, people just park anywhere, so yeah, just stopped in the road and I put my small case in the luggage hold. The hostess checked my ticket and I made my way on board and upstairs to seat 1. Seat number 1, please. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Wow. Their first impressions were, yeah, not bad. A bit different to your typical National Express coach, wasn't it? It looked quite luxurious, with just 19 seats on the top deck, laid out in a 1-1 configuration, apart from the front row here, which was 2 seats together. And there was a screen separating the front row from the rest of the passengers, which did give it an air of exclusivity, I thought. Right, okay. That's funny, isn't it? I assumed that seat number 1 would be just on its own, but it's actually the only one on the coach with 2 seats, so let's see if somebody else sits next to me, shall we? There you go. Okay, the seat itself, well, the headrest here was just velcroed on. It was getting in the way, so I got rid of that. Very well padded though, as you would expect. Lap belts were fitted here. Yeah, the overall cushioning was really good. What needs to go in there? Cigarette lighter? There was a side bin and various controls for the seat. Okay, well, I'll go in those later on. A personal entertainment system, along with various other controls at the front, including a JVC car stereo for some reason. Yeah, a quite sturdy swivel-out table here completes this initial inspection of the seated area. We left at 17:40, 11 minutes late, and our host was soon on the microphone telling everyone we would be on the road for about 5 hours, with a 10-minute break at some point on the journey. And the good news that was, as it would give me a good hour or so in Singapore after arriving at Jurong East, in which to take the metro to my hotel before the last train of the night. The seat next to me remained empty, which put me in a good mood as I settled into the journey. Above my head were, well, 4 air vents in total, and a couple of personal reading lights. They either didn't work or hadn't been activated by the driver. Now, I've no idea what this set of controls did. Something to do with the seat, maybe? Nothing seemed to do anything, so yeah, even the USB socket didn't work. Well, at least the car stereo worked. I was able to use the USB socket on that to charge some of my stuff up. I also used additional charging points to the side of the seat in the form of a UK style conventional plug and a couple more USB ports. The side bin here, well, that was pretty dirty to be honest, not a good sign. The personal entertainment system seemed to work, so you would have a look at that a little bit later on when it got dark. Legroom, as expected, was excellent, absolutely no issues with that. So heading out of Kuala Lumpur and we meet our first traffic congestion, which I guess can be quite stressful for some people. That is, of course, unless you have a cocoon seat with a massage facility. I had a bit of a play with the seat buttons initially so that I could get myself in the optimum position to receive said massage. The first button didn't seem to do anything, but yeah. The second lifted up the lower leg rest. And then the third began to recline the seat, quite a long way actually, which was really nice. I was then ready for my massage, so yeah, I switched it onto auto mode, and sure enough, the seat started vibrating. It was quite nice, I suppose, for a while, but yeah, nothing like a proper massage, of course. And yeah, it's not really a deal breaker when selecting your coach, in my humble opinion. Okay, so with this service you get a hot meal served at your seat within the first hour. So I swiveled out the table, which was covered in this kind of non-slip rubber, in preparation for the feast to come. Armrests were a bit scruffy to be honest, but yeah, anyway, the food arrived and it was nasi lemak ayam goreng berampa, which is spicy fried chicken with fragrant rice, egg and anchovies in this case. It is considered to be the national dish of Malaysia, and let me tell you this, it is absolutely fantastic. And I definitely recommend eating some of this if you're in the area. Anyway, time was ticking on and the sun was becoming very low in the sky. Enjoy some of the scenery with me and I will catch you again a little bit further south. About 7:45, the host announced we were stopping for a quick comfort break. Everyone was speedily off, which enabled me to have a better look at the upstairs seating, and you will also notice as I go downstairs there are another 4 seats on the lower deck too. Right then guys, about 2 hours and 9 minutes into the journey and we're taking a comfort break, 10 minutes only. I've no idea where, but yeah, it's nice to get on. I tell you what, it's still hot, which you would expect, wouldn't you, really? Yeah, what do you think? Tell you what, it looks better from the outside than inside, really. I think the coach itself is probably quite old, and it's showing its age in parts as well. Brilliant onboard host, and the food was great. Yeah, the seat's a little bit tatty in parts, but I tell you what, when it was new, I bet it was amazing. But yeah, one of the older ones, I would say. So I've been a little bit unlucky with that gain on this particular trip to Malaysia. But yeah, not bad really. And of course, don't forget, I have had a free auto massage all the way down here, and that does work. So yeah, not bad. I quite enjoyed it really. Got a bit to go yet until Singapore anyway, so I'll catch you again on the coach in a little while. The onboard host was lovely, by the way, very friendly, efficient, and even apologetic for disturbing me, which she wasn't. She also checked whether I'd filled in my Singapore arrival card, which embarrassingly I hadn't. So I quickly did that online and gave her the details, which would later be needed at the border. There was no working Wi-Fi, by the way, despite it being advertised on the side of the coach. Anyway, we carried on steadily through the night, and I decided it was time to try the entertainment system, which was easy to turn on and then almost impossible to turn off again. The promo they ran at the start just confirmed my suspicion that I was once again unlucky to have found myself sitting on one of the older coaches with the quite tired interior. Oh well, maybe the newer ones are the best in Southeast Asia, but yeah, I'm home now, so I guess I'll never know. No, this one certainly wasn't. I gave up trying to turn the TV off in the end, just turned it round to face the window. Naughty Android system. And so I went to find the toilet to see what that was like. A usual kind of loo review type thing, you know, and guess what? There wasn't one. I was really surprised, to be honest, and I just assumed that there would be an onboard toilet, and maybe that's why, despite being only 14 miles from our destination, we stopped for another break. But I didn't understand this at all, though, because we were so close to the border. Surely we could have just used the facilities there, you know. We'd all have to get off the coach, go through passport control, then hang around waiting for the coach while it was being checked, and I don't know, and maybe the driver was desperate for fuel, or fuel is a lot cheaper in Malaysia than Singapore. If you've any idea, yeah, please let me know. And of course, at this point, some totally inconsiderate person felt the need to go and get 2 bags worth of shopping. Maybe food's cheaper too, but yeah, it held everybody up. So, you know, the host had to go and look for them and hurry them along. And at this point, we were nearly 5 hours into the journey, and we still had to clear immigration yet. It was going to be another long night, and yeah, I was starting to become worried that I might miss the last train of the night, which would be a far from ideal situation. So sure enough, literally 5 minutes after stopping for another comfort break, we arrived at Malaysian passport control on the west side of the Johor Strait, and that forms the border here between Malaysia and Singapore. And it only took around 50 minutes to get through at this point, and the coach picked us up again outside, and this was quite a slick and easy affair, to be honest. So we all climbed back on board, and the coach departed, heading for the second link bridge that crosses the water. Now this must be a fantastic approach to Singapore in daylight, with the Welcome to Singapore sign here, but yeah, it obviously wasn't as scenic at night. We then hit traffic queuing to get into the country at the Tuas checkpoint, and so we were off the coach again, and this time the wait after passport control seemed to take an age. Well, the coach finally turned up, but yeah, it was getting really late at this point, and rather than it being a nice stress-free run to our final destination at Jurong East, I spent most of my time checking my watch, as it was becoming really tight as to whether I'd make the last train or not. Again, there wasn't much to see out the window as we made our way towards the transport interchange, and ultimately, I reckon it would again have been much more scenic and certainly less stressful if I'd have done the journey earlier in the day. And I think, this last comment, it's probably my number one piece of advice for this trip. Obviously, you can't control whether you get a newer coach or not, but if you can, try and book an earlier one. At the time of this recording, there were 2 other Solitaire Suite coaches. One left KL at 7:30 in the morning and one at 14:29 in the afternoon. The price I paid for this one-way trip was 45 Singapore dollars, which works out at just under 27 British pounds. And no issues with the price. It was good value for money. And the coach dropped us off at 23:39. I knew the last train to my hotel was at 23:42. So I grabbed my luggage and ran to the station as quickly as I could, but I just wasn't going to make it. As I ascended the elevator to the platform, I heard a train leaving, and sure enough, it was this last train, which I'd missed by 1 minute. And just thinking back, it might not have seemed a big deal to anybody at the time, but the inconsiderate actions of one person doing their shopping and holding the coach up, even for those 5 extra minutes, just had the knock-on effect of massively inconveniencing me and others, and it costed me God knows how much extra money to call a taxi. And I finally made it to my hotel where, I was so tired. I just went on a bit of a rant about it all really, but luckily for you guys, here's the edited version of the summary. Oh, right guys, so I didn't film much of the arrival or the departure of the coach because honestly it was 6 hours that took to get to Singapore, to get to the drop-off point, and I had to rush to get the last MRT, the metro train to the hotel, and of course I got through the gates and I missed it by about a minute. So I had to get back out through the gates, get a taxi, and I banged my head on the door, and honestly it's just all these things. And let me know what you thought of the coach anyway. And again, it was I think there were newer ones on this route, and unfortunately I got one of the old ones. Would I do it again? Absolutely no chance whatsoever. Let me know if you would try the coach or whether you'd fly next time, if there ever is a next time. And or if you've done this journey yourself. I know one or two of you have. One or two of my YouTube friends have done it. Be in better circumstances and in the other direction. Maybe that was the thing. But I'd say, as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you again sometime soon. And until then, cheers for now.